Welcome to the 2024 Destination Wedding Giveaway. I'm Tanya, the owner of Hoops Events, an international destination planning company. I am so excited to be part of a team of amazing vendors who are giving one lucky couple a dream destination wedding. And you, the viewers, get to help us plan the wedding. So hit the subscribe button to follow along as we plan a once-in-a-lifetime destination wedding in a dream Caribbean location. Before we get started, let's introduce you to our amazing partners. Destination Inspiration, Morgan Powell Photography, Carter R. Madsen Films, Versailles Atelier, Russ Powell Events, and Ironic Events. Together with this dream team, we're going to give this couple a full destination wedding and an amazing experience for their friends and family. Let me tell you how this is going to work. You, the viewers, get to come along as we plan the destination wedding. You get to be part of the process. First, learning about the couple and vendors. Then you will get to select most aspects of the wedding, including which country the wedding will take place in, the locations in the chosen country, their colors, flowers, menus, and so much more. Throughout the planning process, I will introduce you to each selection and then you get the final say. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do when planning a destination wedding is to choose the destination. At Hoops Events, we work with Destination Inspiration to help find the perfect location for our couples. Today, I'm going to be speaking to Mark Hoops from Destination Inspiration. Yes, as you can tell by the last name, Mark and I are married and work together when I am booking a destination wedding. Mark, start by telling me about what Destination Inspiration does.
Destination Inspiration is focused on finding the right venue, the right location, everything that the couple's looking for, and what will make the wedding perfect for them.
That's great. So basically you're telling me that you find the countries, the destination in the countries, so the resorts that they are possibly looking for.
Absolutely. We start by talking to the couple and finding out what they're looking for and what their dreams and their hopes and experiences are.
Is there ever a time where maybe a couple calls you and says, we're thinking of Mexico, and they start telling you kind of what they're looking for, and you're thinking, maybe not Mexico?
Yes.
And how do you handle that situation? How do you handle that? Because if they're thinking my dream wedding is in Mexico and you're thinking what you're telling me your dream wedding is in Costa Rica, how do you actually go about maybe talking to them about why maybe you think Costa Rica versus Mexico?
Well, it comes down to talking to the couple first and understanding them. When we start to understand what they love about being together, what they love about travel, what they love about a destination wedding, then we start to put the pieces together and say, have you thought of something else? Because often what they're looking for, they can find in another location, maybe at a better price, and maybe just a better feel and a better vibe for them.
Yeah, vibe is so important for a wedding. It really is what your guests take away is that experience and that vibe of your wedding. So tell me, when a couple calls you, what kind of information do you get from them in order to determine like what locations you're going to suggest?
Well, we find out what their interests are. When someone likes mountains, then we could take them to the Bahamas, but there are no mountains there. You can do a beach wedding there, and if that's important to you, then the Bahamas are great. But there are places in the Caribbean, and of course around the world, where there are mountains that would make a great venue for a wedding. For instance, if you wanted to stay local, you can go into Costa Rica. You could also go into Belize. Jamaica has mountains. Bahamas, they don't have the mountains, so we look somewhere else if they want mountains.
Yeah, that's great. So you need to find out what they're really looking for. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you actually go on site with them? Tell me what parts you play.
We can go on site with them. It's pretty much up to the couple what they want to do. Usually when we find a venue, they already have a wedding planner, and that wedding planner will make certain that most things go well for them. But the wedding planner usually focuses on the venue issues. They don't focus on the couple issues. So if the couple would like us to be on site, we're absolutely willing to go and help them and be there. We look at the other logistics that the venue will not look at. We had an example in Costa Rica, which you will remember, where we had 10 guests stuck in San Francisco because of weather, and they were going to miss a good part of the wedding. Well, we sat down and we worked through all of the possibilities of getting those guests there, and we got every one of them there for the important parts of the wedding, even though unfortunately a couple of them had to travel all night. But
Yes,
we got them there in time.
Absolutely do remember that. So let me just kind of reiterate what Destination Inspiration does. So a couple calls you, and the first thing is you're going to help them find the right country for them. And a lot of times they have the country, but if there might be a little bit of like ifs there, you might help them navigate the country. And then from there, you're helping them find the venues.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you find the venues, how do you present those to the couple? I mean, they're not seeing them in person. So what do you do to make sure they understand what they're getting at each venue?
We actually create a video of each of the venues.
Oh, nice.
So we research it, we put it all together so it's nicely organized, we show pictures of the venue, we talk about why the venue is great, the strengths and the weaknesses of it, approximate cost, because that's always important for any wedding, and anyone at any budget. They want to know what the cost is going to be. So we put that all together in a video, and we put it out there and let them look at it in their own time frame. So we don't force them to sit through a Zoom call, and then we have a Zoom call and we talk about the venues and we talk about which ones they like and which ones they're interested in.
Perfect.
And then we settle it at that point.
And once you've settled it, once they say, okay, we want to do Punta Isleta, I love Punta Isleta, is a great resort in Costa Rica. Once they say, this is the resort that we want, then do they negotiate the contract? Do you negotiate the contract?
We work with the contract on that. We're used to looking at contracts and kind of thinking about the gotchas. Okay, where are you going to go if it rains? What are you going to do if we have extra guests and they can't all fit at the resort? Those are the things we start to look at. We also look at cancellation dates, the things that you have to pay attention to when you're doing a wedding anywhere really, but definitely in a destination. It makes it a lot more difficult if you don't keep an eye on those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And then from there, so now the wedding's been booked, meaning that we've got the contract signed with the resort. What do you help with the guest travel, with any of the guest arrangements?
We can. We will help as much as the couple wants at that point going forward. We can arrange transportation from the airport to the resort. We can arrange excursions for the guests, and that's always a good idea to put that in with a destination wedding. That's what makes the destination wedding special and memorable, because when people experience things, those experiences, that's what you remember about your trip. You don't remember the flight or anything else. You remember what you did.
Yeah, experiences are so important. I mean, even the experiences at the wedding itself are so important.
Absolutely.
So what's the difference between you and the wedding planner or the on-site wedding coordinator?
Well, we focus strictly on the travel logistics. The wedding planner, the wedding coordinator, they focus on the wedding. They focus on all the pieces that make the wedding day happen. So a good team is really to have a good travel person and a good wedding coordinator or planner.
Yeah, perfect. Because typically a wedding planner is not your travel agent as well as, or your travel advisor, as well as the wedding planner.
Absolutely. Do you really want your wedding planner to be worried about guests getting there on time during the wedding? No, you want them focused on the wedding.
No, and being a wedding planner, you definitely do not. I can absolutely trust that. You want your wedding planner to be worried about, does the table look perfect? Are the flowers right? Is the food coming out exactly like we talked about? Those are the things you want your wedding planner to be worried about. Great. So tell me, how much do you charge for your services?
We charge $750 to find the venue and go through to negotiating the contract.
That's great. So you're telling me that you will find the wedding venue for a couple, you'll get them connected with a wedding coordinator or a wedding planner, and you'll also make sure that all their guests are taken care of for $750.
Absolutely.
That's fabulous. That really is a great deal. Tell me why a client wouldn't just save the $750 and book the venue themselves.
Think of expertise. We've done this for a long time, and it takes hours to find the right venue. Do you want to spend your time planning the rest of your wedding or finding the venue?
That's great. And helping their guests. I mean, that's a great thing, because I know a lot of times guests are asking details like, where do I book my room? How do I book my travel? What happens if, like you said earlier, my flight gets delayed? And you can help them that, and the bride and groom can enjoy their day.
Absolutely.
That's great. Really, that's a great price. Does your price ever go up for different things?
The price goes up depending on the additional services you want to to have. So we will help you as far as you want and as long as you want in the process.
That's spectacular. So tell me, where do you help couples find venues?
Truthfully, we can find them about anywhere in the world they want to. I personally have been on every continent except for Australia and Antarctica. So I have some experience with almost everywhere in the world that you would want to go.
That's fabulous. So if a couple wants to go do a safari and have their wedding in the middle of the Serengeti, they can do that.
Absolutely. I lived there for 3 years in Tanzania, so I have a little knowledge of that area as well.
Wow, yeah. So that would be a pretty darn cool wedding.
Absolutely. I'd love to do one there.
I'd love to plan that wedding. Thank you for watching today. To follow along and help plan the lucky couple's wedding, make sure you subscribe to our page and receive notifications as we upload more videos and the voting process begins.